Brad Nelson on Rug Delver versus Gerry Thompson's Esper Stoneblade.
Yep, Brad obviously won the roll. Turn 1, Tropical into a Ponder.
After fetching, and I mean, that's actually relevant. 2 cards towards Threshold.
It is. Those Mongoose are not going to get themselves big. Gerry, it looks like he has maybe 2 fetch lands.
See a Brainstorm in there.
A Brainstorm,
Swords to Plowshares, I believe.
I believe that the land he has is also an Underground Sea.
Yeah, definitely
so,
an Underground Sea.
3 lands and a Brainstorm. He is in pretty good shape. Gets the island. Doesn't want to get Wastelanded out of this game. That's it's funny how relevant our basic lands can be in Legacy. Because you think like, oh, you have all the best mana in the world. Well, yes, but Wasteland exists. And, we saw some people who are playing no basics, and
right.
But Gerry cannot afford to get Wastelanded. So Brad
resolves a Nimble Mongoose, and so we talked a bit about basic land choices. And where do you think Gerry got that one? That particular island. Where do you think, like specifically, where do you think? Not what set is it from?
I don't know, because it appears to be a Japanese, just Japanese basic.
Yeah, I thought I didn't realize it was Japanese. There's an Engineered Explosives from Gerry.
Engineered for 1.
For 1, yeah, which is very good.
Yep, Brad, of course. Almost, a bunch of Brad's creatures are 1 mana. Delvers, Nimble Mongooses. So that sort of forces Brad to sort of stay on the 1 Mongoose plan until
Gerry pops that Explosives. Yeah.
Now Brad, of course, if he gets up to Threshold, then he can force the issue, but it's going to buy Gerry quite a bit of time.
Before you noticed the land was Japanese, I assumed he got it out of like the draft area. Just like, what basic lands? Yeah, island. I don't care what. Yeah. So, but the fact that it's Japanese, maybe he did actually choose that one specifically for that reason.
Brad follows up with another Ponder, which will put his current quest towards Threshold at 3, and he can at any time, of course, sack that fetch land, go up to 4.
Mm-hmm.
This deck has no problem getting up to Threshold. Wasteland takes it to Crocus and puts him at 5 cards in his graveyard. 4 cards, possibly 5.
Yes. And keeping Gerry off of Lingering Souls mana for the time being, and apparently off of Stoneforge mana, but we know that Gerry could have had access to white there. He's got a Flooded Strand in his hand, I believe, and apparently he just does not have the Stoneforge Mystic, and he can't plow the Mongoose, so...
Right, so,
he's fine just playing the black spell.
Yep, I mean, this is one of those matches where I think the longer it goes, the better it is for Gerry. So, we can let it wait for a while. Eventually he's going to get out of Lingering Souls, and Lingering Souls is quite good here. It's kind of an awkward card to try and Spell Pierce or whatever. Plus, his creature's got to just fly over, and he can blow the Engineered Explosive at any time.
Right. Now that's a nice looking Plains.
That is a nice looking plane. It's also Japanese. I think that might be the MPS Plains, which is like a promo Japanese thing.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like I've seen it before, but I don't remember what it's from.
It might just be the standard.
Yeah, could
Plains.
be. It's definitely a nice looking Plains on camera. So
Gerry does play a Lingering Souls. Looks like Brad is going to Spell Pierce it. Nope,
he's going to go Brainstorm. And that's a virtual 6 cards in his graveyard.
So yep, that Mongoose is going to be active very soon. I have to imagine that Brad is hoping to somehow counter this and then follow up with Tarmogoyf. Gerry's deck, not a whole lot of great ways to deal with Tarmogoyf. I mean, he has swords and all that.
And he's got Swords to Plowshares in hand right now too. So he's pretty safe. He's got 3 basic lands in play, safe from Wasteland. Mana base is safe, and safe from that Mongoose as soon as he decides to pop the Explosives, and safe from a potential Tarmogoyf. So I think Gerry's actually in good shape at the moment. So there's the Spell Pierce, as you mentioned. Yep. Spell Pierce is the Lingering Souls. Gerry's fine with that. And Brad with 6 cards left, or 6 cards in his graveyard. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry, 7. He cracked the Misty Rain parts. I forgot. Yeah.
attacks Gerry for 3. He has a Delver in his hand, but he's not going to play it into the Engineered Explosives.
Yeah.
Big surprise. And Gerry just gets more and more options. I mean, he can rebuy the Lingering Souls. See, it is sort of full of swords, but that's not really a big problem to have.
Yeah.
He does need to start getting life, though. He is at 13. And, of course, Brad does have quite a bit of burn in his deck. He's got 4 bolts and 2 chain lightnings.
And speaking of gaining life, I love the, we're in game 1 now, but game 2, Brad has the potential to bring in 2 Sulfuric Vortex, which I just think it's cool to start seeing a card like that show up in
non-mono
sideboards.
decks.
Yeah.
And Gerry does buy back the Lingering Souls, or flashback.
One with a heart on it,
Yep.
The other one with just a signature. So the heart one takes one for the team, blocks the Mongoose.
Yep, Gerry's going to hold that Engineered Explosives as long as he can.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently that's as long as then.
Yeah.
But he's just trying to keep Brad off playing Delvers. And it looks like Gerry did draw a Jace.
Does Gerry play Academy Ruins? No. Oh yeah, he does. There it is.
One
Last
Academy
land on there.
Ruins,
So getting back that explosives, I think, is pretty big.
That would be quite good here.
So
Gerry in for 1. That Lingering Soul Token does not want to go away. It looks like Brad's going to play Delver and a Mongoose.
yeah, now that the coast is clear, no Engineered Explosives in sight. That is an ugly Delver.
That is an ugly Delver. Hopefully we'll soon.
There's a pretty Delver.
That is a very pretty Delver. Gerry brainstorms.
That's the Brainstorm I like, the Dieter Litzy artwork.
That is a nice one.
I mean, I like the Chris Rush Brainstorm too, but I prefer that one.
And Gerry draws a Stoneforge Mystic, which, if he chooses to play this turn, and I think he has Forceful backup for it, will be getting a Batterskull. Batterskull, very good in this matchup.
Yeah, it just helps prolong things, and as you said, Gerry wants this game to go long.
Right.
Brad trying to end it as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And if Gerry can force that card out, I mean, you have to figure as Gerry, there's a very good chance that if he resolves the Stoneforge, it will immediately die to a bolt or a chain lightning or something. But it definitely does its job. And looks like he's going to go for it.
Yeah, so Stoneforge Mystic.
Brad does it with Force of Will.
All right, Brad cracks the Scalding Time.
And again, Brad has no basics, but he does get a Tropical Island. And looks like he's going to Spell Snare it.
And
Gerry responds with a fetch land. Tundra for Gerry. Goes to 12. And I couldn't see if he had 2 counterspells in his hand or just 1, but it looks like he's going to respond by Swordsing the Delver. Again, just buying himself more and more time.
So that appears to have resolved.
Yep, Brad lets it resolve and goes up to 17. And now I think Gerry's, he's going to try and Force of Will it,
removing Jace.
And Brad will Force of Will back, moving a Delver, leaving both players with 1 card in their hand.
Yeah, that was quite the war.
That was a hard-fought battle.
And right now, Brad with the upper hand with the Thresholded Mongoose.
And he has a Chain Lightning in his hand. It looks like, is that another Brainstorm? Wow. Doing what Delver does. It looks like he sees Wasteland, Volcanic, and something else. It looks like he's keeping the Wasteland and will take out Gerry's Tundra.
The Tundra, yeah. So, I mean, keeping Gerry off of the ability to hardcast Batterskull seems pretty good.
Yeah.
He's not going to keep Gerry off of too much, though. I mean, Jerry's got all 3 basics he needs.
Right. And, yep, another
Yeah.
Wasteland takes out another one of Jerry's islands, or Jerry's lands. Umezawa's Jit comes into play, but there is nothing to put it on.
He's already flashed back his Lingering Souls.
Right. And this attack is going to take, I believe they share to 5.
And he just draws a Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge Mystic. That's very good. That is going to come out. Going to get a Batterskull.
It's not going to live long.
It is not going to live long. But
Brad's already touching the
right.
the red swords.
And Brad
over there.
has a chain lightning.
Right.
So there's 2 options. You can either attack. Oh, now he's not going to attack. Now he's just going to chain lightning it. If he hadn't equipped, he could just attack and then see what happens. But no, he is going to chain lightning it.
Yeah.
Take Gerry to 2.
Why not chain lightning it at the end of Jerry's turn so he had access to that?
Chain lightning is a sorcery.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That would make sense. I'm so used to going. It's just lightning bolt, right? It's just like a.
It's like a weird version of lightning bolt.
Yeah,
It's a sorcery.
even
weird
looks
version.
like lightning bolt. Yeah,
It
I always
does.
forget that it's a sorcery.
And there, I believe that is a Lingering Soul.
It certainly is, and here they come.
So
Those
it's
souls that won't go away.
Brad pretty much needs to draw a bolt of some kind here, some way to deal with those Lingering Soul tokens. Because next turn, Gerry can block the 1 this turn, attack with Jit, and then he's getting 4 a turn.
Yeah. Meantime, he does still have that Batterskull in hand, right?
He does have that Batterskull. Now, it's going to be touch and go for a few turns.
Yeah.
Brad has a few turns to draw a burn spell before the Jits
Get out of hand.
gets out of hand. He's, a few other things he can draw.
Oh, there it is,
there it
right off the
is.
top.
Yep.
Lightning bolt.
So Brad Nelson, 1-0 in the match.
Yeah, the battle of the heavyweights. So now Brad clearly prepared for this matchup with the Sulfur Elementals and the Sulfuric Vortex. I think he's bringing probably all 5 of those in.
I'm not sure about Sulfuric Vortex exactly.
I thought it was very much. He's
It makes
facing down
sense.
Jit and Batterskull.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just trying to figure out how much he can take out, because I think he also wants the 1 Ancient Grudge.
I didn't mean to so we keep second time now we've been interrupted by someone who thinks that we're here just hanging out.
I mean, it happens.
Yeah. So what were you saying? The things that...
it's how much does he have to take out? Because he definitely wants the 1 Ancient Grudge, and he definitely wants, he might want Pyroblast, and he definitely wants the Sulfur Elementals. So that's 6 cards right there. He brings in the Vortexes, that's 8. And so what do you take out?
That's a lot.
You could take out some of the burn. It's probably not wonderful in this matchup. That's 6 cards if you felt like taking out that much of it.
Right.
But you have to deal with Stoneforge Mystic, so you can't. So
Yes.
I actually don't know exactly how he's going to sideboard this. Whether or not he just decides to go further into the aggro plan.
Right.
Or put in the sulfurs and take out some of his controlling elements. Force Will probably comes out. I have to imagine. It's not tremendous in this matchup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I'm not sure exactly everything that he takes out. We'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah, looking on the other side, Gerry. It's not as if Jerry's not prepared for Rug Delver. I'm sure
he can bring in
very well expected.
another explosives.
Yep.
He could bring in a second Academy Rooms
Yeah,
too.
just to be able to reuse those explosives and any Batterskulls. He's got to presume that Brad's going to bring in something like Grudge, and so the Academy Ruins to kind of compensate seems like a reasonable option. I don't know if he's actually going to go that way. He's got Perish.
Yeah, I don't think he probably. Well, no, he can bring Perish in.
Perish. I mean, it takes
It takes
two-thirds of Brad's
of his creature
Brad's
base.
creatures. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like Gerry in the post-board games.
He's got 2 Zealous Persecution, which
it's really more for the mirror.
Yeah, but it also seems like taking out nimble mongooses and delvers before they flip, and mongoose before threshold seems good. Nice 2-mana Wrath You kind of thing.
Right. I agree. I think that the Zealous is great in the mirror and it's great against Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's here for Rug Delver, but it's still it's still something that
if you hit them,
think about it. Yeah.
If you hit them on turn 2, hit them early on, you can easily take out Delvers and a small mongoose, and that'd be pretty good. But Brad has a lot of cards to bring in and a lot of cards to take out, so I personally just am not sure what that mix is. But I'm interested to find out. So both players draw their 7. Gerry's hand looks like he's...
Whoa, a lot of land.
Yep, he is a nice informal match. He's taking the all-land mulligan. The all-in to 6.
So while they're resolving this mulligan, why don't we see some of the stats for one of these guys? We've got these cool new graphics for this weekend.
Yeah, these are great.
Why don't we go? There's Brad Nelson. Yeah, Pro Tour Player of the Year 2010. That was one of the coolest storylines.
That was a great year.
That was like at Worlds that year. Brad had a pretty clear lead. As the day went on, as the tournament went on, it looked like basically Guillaume Matignon was the only person who could.
PV could catch him too.
Oh, that's right. PV could have caught him. There was a couple people I think that could have caught him, but Guillaume's only path was to win, and then he would have tied Brad.
Right, and PV had to I think PV had to finals or something. It was either finals or top 4, and he lost one match before that.
Yeah,
and that all that required Brad to not do well at Worlds, and he didn't.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was biting his nails during that during the end of that tournament.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to more of that maybe after this game, or maybe let's see. It looks like
Gerry. So it looks like he's keeping a 6.
Okay, they're keeping
Island and the engine explosives for 1. He does not want that to get spell pierced.
That's a great turn 1 play from Gerry. I mean,
it's
about one of the best things you could do on turn 1 against Brad's deck.
Right. I mean, worst case scenario, Brad doesn't play any 1-drops.
Right.
I think you're okay with that.
Right, because otherwise you're probably just on Island to go. I mean...
Yep. Brad plays a end-of-turn Thought Scour, and Gerry responds with Brainstorm. I definitely see a Stoneforge, a Vindicate, a Swords of Plowshares. And it looks like he's going to keep the Stoneforge. Right now it looks like he's putting back Vindicate and something else. I can't see what it is.
Vindicate and oh, never mind. I didn't quite see it either. No, he's got a Lingering Souls
in his hand. He's got a Lingering Souls. He has a
I believe he kept a Polluted Delta in hand.
Brad mills 2 Lightning Bolts. That's actually very relevant. I mean,
he has no Snapcaster mages.
Right, he does not. And if Gerry can gain a little bit of life, keep Brad off some of those creatures.
Yeah, Brad's Burn Suite is 4 Lightning Bolt, 2 Chain Lightning.
So that's a full third of it that just went with that 1 Thought Scour. It's quite a thing.
Now, if Brad could just discard an Emrakul somehow.
Draws a Tarmogoyf. Keeps 1 mana up, of course, representing the Spell Snare.
Or Spell Pierce, right? He has Spell Pierce as well.
Yeah, that's Spell Pierce as well. But the big card he's worried about right now is Stoneforge.
Yeah. But we may see a Lingering Souls, because Gerry does not mind having that Spell Pierced.
Not so much.
We saw that in Game 1.
And those Lunar Field tokens are basically unblockable. Yep, and that's what he does. Do you have the Spell Pierce? Do you want to use the Spell Pierce?
Yeah. I think Gerry's fine with either of those.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Lingering Souls.
It really is. That card is wonderful.
Brad's just like, yeah.
Yep. It's funny that Lingering Souls in every so far it's seen a lot of play in every non-vintage format.
Yeah.
Eventually it might work its way into vintage. Vintage is getting more creature heavy, but for right now it's going to have to settle with just living in standard, modern, and legacy. And block. Well, not block anymore.
Yeah.
But it was awesome in block.
It was. It is still awesome in block for a couple more days, right?
Yep. And here comes Tarmogoyf. Gerry draws a Force of Will. I believe he has a Swords for that Tarmogoyf.
That's a fairly small Oh, I mean, it's a 3/4, right? I mean, I think we've got instant land sorcery. And, Swords to Plowshares on the Tarmogoyf.
He is going to...
Exiles his Tarmogoyf.
Yep. Tarmogoyf goes to Placid Fields. Brad's going to the 22.
Tarmogon.
And here come the Spirits, taking Brad down to 20 again. Spirits, more Spirits. They just keep coming.
Yeah.
This is the opportunity where if Brad has a Sulfur Elemental,
it
is going to be a little bit backbreaking. So Gerry comes in with 4. And
there it is. Sulfur Elemental. Gerry immediately, no way to respond. It's got split second. He can't do anything.
Right. But it does give Gerry the opportunity to play his Stoneforge.
Yeah. Unless Brad has a Force of Will, if he even kept it in, which
he does not. Looks like he has a Red Elemental Blast, but Red Elemental Blast does not counter Stoneforge.
But see, it's ridiculous. He goes Sulfur Elemental, Wrath you. Oh, I still have a beater. Like, I'm left with a guy on board that actually...
3/2 is pretty large.
Yeah. Now, something also relevant here, though, that Stoneforge Mystic is a 2/1.
It is.
Instead of a 1/2 because of Sulfur Elemental's text. It gives white creatures +1/-1. So those Lingering Souls tokens all got a nice little boost of power before dying.
Yeah, if he had a Pandemonium in play and flashback Lingering Souls, that would do 4 damage.
Yeah, that interesting little...
This is not an interaction that's come up very often.
No.
But
Yet.
There's still time. So I think Braz is starting how he wants to deal with this. Brainstorm. I'm sure he's looking for a bolt of some sort.
He could gut shot the Stoneforge Mystic at this point.
If he had gut shots, he could gut shot it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he found one. It's looking like we're going to see a Batterskull next turn.
Now, unless Brad found a Sulfur Elemental, a second Sulfur Elemental.
A second Sulfur Elemental would also do it. That would be quite a thing if you had 2 Sulfur Elementals.
That would blank the Stoneforge Mystics. And if you not blank them, but they wouldn't stick around long. They'd just be a tutor. They'd be a Steel Shaper's Gift.
They'd be a 2-mana Steel Shaper's Gift.
Yeah.
Brad making sure the cards he wants put back. A little last second change there, it looks like. I have to imagine he's going to crack this fetch and then play a second Brainstorm. Comes in for 3 first. Gerry to 15. Delver. Looks like he's nope.
Delver number 1, Delver number 2. All right.
He's just going to race this Batterskull.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen a raced Emrakul already this week.
So Gerry, so here's a nice one to play, right? Gerry can't, unless he draws a land, Gerry can't both pop the Explosives for 1
and get the Batterskull.
And get the Batterskull in play. And that gives Brad 1 more turn to do it. And because Brad knows that he's going to flip them, and Gerry knows he's going to flip them, so he has very little other option but to sort of allow it to happen. Or the 2 wait till next turn to put in the Batterskull token. Unless he thinks that he can somehow race 1 Sulfur Elemental and 2 flip Delvers.
Yeah.
Right? And because they flip and do 0, after they flip, they're at 0 casting cost.
Right, he has to use the Explosives
right now
here if he wants to use it for the Delvers.
He cannot wait until next turn because they're going to flip and then 1 doesn't do anything.
So Gerry goes with the Brainstorm, leaving his options open. Can still decide on Batterskull or Explosives.
Brad's obviously considering Red Elemental Blast again. I think he knows that he has Gerry a bit on the offensive, on the defense.
If I'm Gerry, I just go ahead and well, yeah. See, it's scary because it gives Brad another turn to find an answer for the Stoneforge.
Right.
So, because I was going to say, go ahead and use the explosives while you can, while it's effective.
Right. And what this brainstorm did also was that because Brad had to pop that, Gerry doesn't know that he is able to. Spell push nice. He doesn't know, that's theoretically a blind. That is a blind card on top of his deck.
Yeah.
They could not flip. So does Gerry let that resolve and then put in a batter skull? If he does, I believe Brad has another brainstorm in his hand. He can still set up
the Delvers.
The Delvers,
flip,
right?
Yeah.
Or Gerry can fight over the brainstorm, and then he can just still be there.
This is a great little chess match happening just now in this series of turns.
Yep, and Gerry does go for popping.
Pop the explosives.
Pop the explosives, takes out 2 of those. Delvers.
Brainstorm gets countered.
Yep.
And Brad now has another turn to find an answer for Stoneforge, which we already know he's already lost 2 of those lightning bolts. So
right.
He can draw 2 chain lightning. He's got 1 of 2 chain lightnings or 1 of 2 remaining lightning bolts.
And 2 sulfur elementals.
2 sulfur elementals. So he's got 6 answers to a Stoneforge on the table.
Plus all of the other brainstorms he has, all the ponders.
Right.
With the active fetch land.
Right.
He can see a lot of cards this turn. I mean, it would not be shocking for him to see 7-8 cards, looking for that 1 lightning bolt to kill Stoneforge Mystic. Gerry admiring.
Yeah.
It'd be very pretty.
Looking at the insectile aberration side of it. For those of you just joining us, you are coming in the middle of a very heavyweight matchup here between Brad Nelson and Gerry Thompson. I'm Joey Pasco here with Sam Stoddard at the StarCityGames.com Invitational in Baltimore. Start of day 2. It's the first round of day 2 for the Invitational. Clearly in legacy, as Brad Nelson resolved several brainstorms this turn.
Yeah, he just, they let you play the card, just keep searching. Search or search. It's amazing with this deck. I mean, you have all these cards that are kind of like 1 and 2-ofs, but you see so many cards, like the 1 life from Malone in his sideboard. I mean, he gets to see a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the more, I think that's just one of the more appealing things about Legacy, where you can play a deck with Brainstorms, with all this library manipulation. Brainstorms and fetch lands are just that combination, and you get to play a lot of 1-ofs, and it makes it exciting because is he going to find his 1 out? Either 1 out or 1 really spicy bit of tech.
Right. Oh, interesting. Gerry blocks.
Yeah, that is interesting. So Gerry answers the Stoneforge himself by blocking Brad's Sulfur Elemental, and Brad adds to or replaces the Sulfur Elemental with a Nimble Mongoose and a Delver of Secrets. Now Gerry has a backup Stoneforge Mystic here, which resolves. And
Well, Gerry wants here. Gerry won just another Engineer Explosives last turn.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
Yeah.
So now we get to see if Brad is slipping his Delver, and I imagine he is. But he's going to shuffles, gets a Jit, shuffles.
Sulfuric Vortex.
Yep.
That is quite the answer for both of Gerry's equipment, so Gerry has to force that.
Yeah, he does need to force that. He's just way too far behind. And another Mongoose. Boy.
So Brad empty-handed, but he's got a heck of a board.
He does.
So I guess that Delver didn't flip, huh? I guess it was a Mongoose.
Nope. It does not flip again this turn. Gerry has the Batter Skull.
It's just I'm sorry, yeah, I'm thinking of the Vortex resolved. It did not,
Yeah,
so
it did not.
It's a Batter Skull.
It is a Batter Skull. And Batter Skull battles all of Brad's creatures pretty well. Brad can double block the 2 Mongoose, but Gerry it'll just take Gerry a little while to get back from that. I really like his position in this game, unsurprisingly. And Brad is going to double block. Germ dies, and
Mongoose
one
dies.
Mongoose dies.
Yeah, Gerry goes up to 15.
Ooh, Snapcaster for swords takes out the Delver.
Okay. So things have swung quite a bit in Gerry's favor once he got that Batterskull on the board. I think starting with countering that Vortex, which was...
That was pretty important.
That would have been brutal if that had resolved.
Yep, and Brad's hand is a Red Elemental Blast and a Wasteland. Wasteland not doing a whole lot for him right now, though I believe that is... Gerry only has one basic left, so it does have some potential for the future. You're going to keep Gerry off of being able to replay and return and replay Batterskull in one turn. His Mongoose is larger than Gerry's team, and so Gerry takes 3, goes in at 12 on the attack.
Brad wishes he had that blast, that red blast, just a couple turns ago.
Yep. Nope. And Jit.
Oh.
And Glacier Fortress.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Red Elemental Blast, or Pyroblast, sorry, takes care of that Snapcaster. Tried to pick up Umezawa's Jite, and well, I think he picked it up. Just didn't stick around to use it. Yeah.
Brad passes back. Gerry with 4 mana in play.
Did Brad play the Wasteland or no? Is that
no, he did not. He played a Scalding Tarn.
Okay. He's hiding it.
Gerry plays a Mystic Gate. Gerry's mana base is not the mana base you're used to seeing in Legacy.
Not at all.
He has a few cards that I think are generally not respected, but you know, Glacier Fortress is a great card. Mystic Gate's a great card. Oh, and a Ponder from Brad.
Okay. So that looks to be resolving.
Looking for an answer to this Batterskull.
I think we saw Mongoose Wasteland something.
Yep, but none of those are...
Not what he wants.
Not what he wants. What he wants is an Ancient Grudge. We will see if he gets it. I do not think that's what that was. Nope. Yep, Brad packs it in.
All right, so Gerry Thompson ties it up against former Player of the Year Brad Nelson. Let's put those stats back up.
Yeah, let's see what Gerry's done.
I was going to say let's finish up with Brad and then go to Gerry.
Do that.
Let's do
Either
that.
way.
So what we were saying, I think, just to continue the story, Brad gets Brad is at Worlds 2010 and biting his nails, watching as Guillaume Magnon does the only thing he can do to.
Well, in the top 8, there's like, you know, people are like, well, Brad has this year locked up. For him to lose it, you know, PV would have to finals, or Guillaume would have to win it. And there were like maybe 1 or 2 other people that could, like, with a win or something, could, you know, because a win is so many points. And then he gets top 8, and there's PV and there's Guillaume.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, how could things be going worse for me? And like, if he had done a little bit, I think if he had top 128 in the tournament, then Guillaume was out of the running too.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's got to be just, you know, pulling his hair out. But, you know, of course, Guillaume won it. Then that led off to the unprecedented match in Paris.
Yeah, it was
a mano-a-mano, multi-format match.
Right.
Brad Nelson versus Guillaume for the title of Player of the Year.
And that was so exciting. All the you know, Inkwell Luter does his shirt with the 2 guys standing.
The Team Brad and Team Guillaume.
Yeah, well, that was Griffin Valentine. Griffin Valentine had the Team Brad, Team Guillaume kind of stickers passing out at the event. And Inkwell Luter made the shirt where it was like a poster, and it had the 2 guys facing off with the Eiffel Tower between them, and it was just like so much. It was such a story.
And the whole match, it was like this match where they you know, filmed it, and they had like a small crowd of like their friends who were there. It was a little more informal than like a normal Pro Tour Finals match. Yeah, it was really cool. It was great to watch that. It
was awesome to be there. I was there. That was so great. Like I had the shirt on. I had the stickers on both sides of the shirt. And I took a lot of pictures of that event. That was so much fun, and it was so cool to be there and kind of catch all those historic moments. And you know, here we have Brad in the matchup against Gerry, and you can see Brad obviously has much more of a pedigree than just Pro Tour Player of the Year 2010.
Yeah.
Top 4 nationals, top 4 a Grand Prix, won Grand Prix DC with Blue White Tap Out, as we were talking about it yesterday. I think JBL was in the booth with me. But yeah, some pretty cool stuff.
Into game 3.
Yeah.
Looks like both players kept 7. Brad starts off with a Scalding Tarn into a Tropical. And which turn 1 play will he be making?
What is Drew
Delver.
Levin doing right now? Drew Levin is on the floor in front of the booth, crawling under the table.
And we have a Force of Will.
Oh, I see. He's stealing Sam Stodd's backpack.
It's actually Drew Levin's backpack. but yeah,
right.
turn 1 Delver gets Force of Will. Gerry obviously is not that to resolve, but it costs him a Jace.
Yeah, that's
big, but
that's a pretty big cost. But
that is a big cost. The Mind Sculptor is better than all, but not apparently better.
Not
than,
above
than a turn
being,
1 Delver.
Yeah, not above.
He's not
being
above turn 1
exiled
Delver
from Force of Will. Yeah.
Brad fills up with the Mongoose. He is this game. He wants to put some pressure on. He wants to get Gerry's life total down as soon as possible. He doesn't want a repeat of last game, where Gerry kind of gets to sit at a reasonable life total even into the late game. But another fetch land gets a Volcanic, I imagine. Yep, which ponders.
Yeah, back when that that phrase "Jace the Mind Sculptor better than all" was first coined, there was no Delver of Secrets. Now Delver may have taken the top spot.
Delver just might be the best blue creature of all time.
I mean, it's arguable. It's in the conversation for sure.
I mean, there was Leviathan, but
there was also Lorthos. We were talking about Octopus.
yeah, Lorthos is the general for the Octopus style EDH deck.
I like Snapcaster a lot.
He is another amazing blue creature.
Mega Man with the blaster on his arm. I've seen a nice Eric Klug altar of Snapcaster Mage with Mega Man on it.
That is a very good one.
Yeah.
Very high quality. Most of his stuff is.
All his stuff is so high quality. I mean, I'm a particularly big fan of his Muka kind of
impressionist art type stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
He's working on a Picasso Snapcaster right now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
He did
Gerry
the Picasso
sacks two Flooded Strands. He's imagining it a Plains and an Island.
Yeah.
Plays a Stoneforge.
I mean, that Ponder's threatening to block, I think.
And I kept to imagine he's going to get a Batterskull.
Yeah.
That seems like the card to get here. Could be wrong. He's looking for it.
There it is.
There it is.
Batterskull. And
Ponder.
Another Ponder from Brad.
Looking for a bolt. Looking for a way to kill that Stoneforge Mystic so we don't see a Batterskull next turn.
Yeah.
Batterskull fights Mongoose very well. It might actually be the natural enemy of the Mongoose.
The Flintstone car is the natural enemy
of the
Mongoose. That's what we really need. We need Klug to alter a germ token into Fred Flintstone, right? I mean, that's perfect.
That he would run a Batterskull very well. Now Brad does have a bolt, so he will be able to take out that Stoneforge Mystic. Assuming Gerry doesn't have a second Force of Will, which I do not think he does. Well, maybe he does. It's hard to tell. I see a lot of blue cards.
There's a bolt.
Oh. And down goes Stoneforge. Brainstorm is going to take, I think that takes Brad up to threshold. So Mongoose is coming in for 3. Yep, Gerry down to 14. Gerry, of course, has his swords. It doesn't do anything right here. Plays a polluted Delta. And passes the turn. Brad has a Wasteland.
Not going to do too much here.
No. Gerry knows that in this matchup you get your basics first.
Yeah.
A Snapcaster Mage, but there's just not much in Gerry's graveyard right now. Mongoose it was definitely not as popular for a long time, but
yeah, I think we saw it kind of return at the Invitational in December back in Charlotte, JVL and I were really excited. It wasn't just Nimble Mongoose. There was, what was it? What's the other Mongoose?
Blurred Mongoose.
Blurred Mongoose was also seeing play in a Rug Delver list.
More relevantly, Brad just drew an Ancient Grudge.
Brad is looking good for Brad right now.
It's looking amazing, Brad. Even if Gerry somehow manages to get that Batter Skull in play.
So we have, was that a, I mean, did he just try to wasteland a Caracas and then
Yes.
Snapcaster came into play?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so wasteland, Caracas, Snapcaster.
You know, Gerry needs to block now. He's just falling behind very quickly.
Why? I'm a little bit confused there. Brad wasted. Did he flash anything? He obviously
No, he didn't flash. He has nothing to flash back.
But it looked like he drew a card. What was the drawing the card off of?
His turn. It was
okay. I thought it was an end of turn. I thought it was a mid combat. That's why I was a little confused.
No, it was just end of turn.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can't tell. It looked like it was a life in the loan from Brad, but I don't know if he worked it in this matchup.
Snapcaster got in.
Nope, it's just Tarmogoyf.
So Tarmogoyf from Brad, and apparently
Just Tarmogoyf.
resolved. Okay.
Swords kills Tarmogoyf, but Gerry's at 5, and he needs a way very, very, very soon to deal with that Mongoose.
He's going to be able to chump it once. Or twice, because there's a Stoneforth Mystic.
That, I imagine, will get a Jit. Which, if Brad doesn't have anything, lets Gerry race the Mongoose, but we, of course, know that Brad has an Ancient Grudge. Which, for being the one of, Ancient Grudge really just dismantles Gerry's deck if Brad can draw it.
It's like it came with a Snapcaster on the Shatter, right?
Right.
I'm sure that's not how they put it when it was first printed. It's like Snapcaster on a Shatter.
Looks like Brad also has a Bolt in his hand. So he can attack, see if Gerry double blocks, which is, I imagine, what his plan is right here. Nope, just single blocks.
Yeah, Gerry knows Brad has a lot of burn. And
Lightning Bolt
figures,
takes up the Stoneforge. Presumably. Yep, Gerry lets it die. Untaps and draws. Looks like Academy Ruins.
And that's a pretty good answer for an Ancient Grudge, unless Brad draws another Wasteland.
Well, it's a very good answer for it, but
it's a slow answer for it. Gerry doesn't have a lot of time.
He doesn't have the time, unfortunately, to use it. Oh, Snapcaster Mage, once again, looking to block. Looking to keep Gerry alive. Gerry, of course, wants to keep keep out of bolt range. Not easy in this situation. Imagine he's going to flash back the Swords Plowshares on his own. Yep, on his own Snapcaster. Goes up to 7, which means
nice play there.
Yeah, it's a very good play. It means he's out of range for 2 bolts, out of range for a lot of things. Now, does Gerry have? No, he's not yet put an Engineered Explosives this game, so he needs to draw an Engineered Explosives.
Draws Glacial Fortress.
And now he's got to be feeling good. He goes to 6. He gets the Batter Skull in play, I imagine.
Wait, how's he get the Batter Skull in play? So they got 4 lands. Oh, he has a. That land was already in play.
Right, he drew a Glacial Fortress, so that'll let him play Batter Skull, which in most situations, if it would stick.
Oh, it looks like he's going with. Okay, never mind.
If this would stick, he'd be commanding lead the game, but
Ancient
Grudge takes it out, and if this is the top card, and he's got a Brainstorm. So, yep.
He's going to make sure that Delver flips.
Yep.
And he's got a Bolt. So Brad Nelson takes it down in this match of Titans.
Yeah, that was a great match. That
was a great match. It was as advertised, I think. Brad Nelson versus Gerry Thompson here at the StarCityGames.com Invitational in Baltimore.